In this tutorial, we're going to be taking a quick break from our weapon related stuff, and we're going to implement crouching. So crouching is really quite simple. It's all handled in your character movement component, and it's also replicated pretty nicely. So we have this function called crouch, we have another one called uncrouch, and we have an isCrouching function, which, well, you can kind of assume what it returns. And it's all already set up to be replicated and handled pretty much for us. So if we ever want to make slight changes, we can do so in the actual character blueprint. It's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and create a binding for our crouch. So we're going to go to our project settings, input, a new action mapping. I'm going to call it crouch and bind it to left control. Alright, going to save. And inside of our header, let's see, right there, where's our input? Right, I want to put it right below sprint and change sprint to crouch. Right, so right under our sprint and our header, we're going to create two new functions, void start crouch and void stop crouch. Create our definitions. Come on. There we go. Now we can bind our crouch actions to start crouch and stop crouch, just like so. Here they are. And now we, well, try to crouch. So first thing we're going to do a quick check. So if get character movement is crouching, we're going to change that to if we are not crouching, then we want to crouch. So get character movement, just going to copy it, crouch, and do the exact same thing here. Except we are going to check if we are crouching, in which case we are going to uncrouch, and then build. There we go. Alright, it's finally done building, and we can do a quick test. Let's just place down a couple random meshes. And we should be able to crouch under this. Oh, that's actually quite small. Can't remember if they have physics enabled. Alright, good. Alright, holding left control, nothing's happening. Can actually remove this, because that should be low enough. Alright. Alright, so it is not working as we had assumed. Let's triple check that we are in fact able to do this. Well, that we are in fact crouching. when I release it, it's not calling our uncrouch. That is set to release rate. Yes. Alright, so I think we might have to set our once to crouch variable to true. Then set it to false in our uncrouch. Nope, still just crouching. So for some reason we are not fully crouching. Actually, I just remember there's a Boolean. Let's see here. Can crouch, check it, compile. Oops, see the log. Crouching, uncrouch. So it's working. Although I don't think we're properly uncrouching, but we'll fix that here in a second. Alright, so we're running into it. Crouch. Walks right under. So it is working. However, we are not getting out of the crouched state for some reason. And that's because I'm stupid. That's usually what it is. Alrighty. Not sure why it's sending us up in the air like that, though. Because it should just be changing the capsule component. Right, but now we can get into the actual animation. And we are using, where do we have it? Yeah. Alright, so for here we're going to place, or create a new blend space kind of like this, but for crouching. In which case we need, from our animation starter pack, right, crouch idle. And crouch walk forward. So we're going to hold left control, right click on these, asset actions, export to your desktop, and leave the settings the same. Same thing for the other. Now back in our animations, we can import them. And we're going to select our skeleton, which is our mannequin. Yeah, it's going to be the top one for us. And import all. Alright, so we have our crouched rifle hip, at idle, and our walking. So let's create a new blend space, one dimension, for the mannequin skeleton. Gonna call this crouch BS underscore crouch for blend space. Now we're going to do the same thing that we kind of already have set up by default in our run. So this, but we're going to half the speed. So change the name to speed. We're going to go from 0 to 300. Then we can use our idle rifle hip all the way at the left side. That is not the right one. I'm blind as a bat. Here it is, our crouched, and our crouched walk forward. So you can see here we're at idle, and then we can walk forward. So we are going to, yes, save that. And in our animation blueprint, we're going to have to create a new variable for is crouching. And set it. So off of our pawn owner, actually we already have our movement component here. So is crouching. If we're crouching, we're going to set is crouching. Right, so this should automatically run. Alright, let me look at this real quick. Okay, yeah, that should continue to run. Let's go after is an error, as well as set our speed. So, compile and save. Now in our animation graph, no, our state machine, we're going to drag off from idle run. So I'm going to move this up and over. Make it a little bit neater. I guess just go straight out. So we're going to drag out, add state, crouching. So let's rename it. Crouching, idle / walk. So we need one to go back to it. So under one to the crouching, we're going to simply drag out. If we're crouching, then that's the state we're going to run. If we are not crouching, we're going to return back. So drag out, do a not. So you can see the commands here. When we are crouching, we're going to run this state. When we're not, we're going to return back. So in our crouching idle / walk, we can drag out our blend space crouch and our speed. I'm blind as a bat. We're not done yet, but we're going to test it, and hopefully we should be crouching. Yep, so we are crouching. Then we stand, crouch. Not exactly sure why it's moving us in the air like that, but I'll look into that later on. But as you can see, it's transitioning as it should. However, our sprinting needs to be changed a bit. So as you can see, here's our walk. It's at like 250. We sprint. It's at like 300 or so. We'll change that later. So we have our blend space for crouching. So here's the thing. Currently we don't have a weapon in hand. So if I do pick up a weapon, well, you can see we're holding a weapon when we're not actually. Which it's fine for, oh, right, I have the locomotion set up different. So we need to set it up so it's the upper half of our body is different from the lower half for our animations. In which case we're going to use our normal idle run blueprint. And we need to blend layers. So blend, layered blend per bone. We're going to drag the idle, our standing, to our blend pose 1, and our crouch to the blend pose 2. And then the result and our output. So if we click on our layered blend pose, we go to, I'm assuming it looks like this by default, drag down or drop down the layer setup, 0. You should see branch filters. Go ahead and check it. Then go down here. So you have the view like this. And we head back to our skeleton, click in its spine, and the lowest spine is spine _01. Here we are. So we're going to change the bone name to spine _01, and the depth, we're just going to go down 2. Alright, so let's save it and see what happens. Alright. Pretty sure these are backwards then. So let's drag the crouch to the top and the standing to the bottom. And try that again. Okay. Golly, that looks so weird. Oop. Not sure what I pressed. Okay. Alright, apparently I'm pressing hotkeys. But, yeah, we have our crouch, and it's separated from our upper and lower body for movement. Now we need to set this up for our weapon walking and crouching. So, in our state machine. Thinking we should link this. We can drag off. No. I'm going to go ahead and drag this back as well to our idle run. Because this one has weapon. We're just going to do a simple not has weapon. I thought I did this earlier. So when we don't have a weapon, it should return back to normal for whenever we set up our weapon dropping. But off our crouching idle / walk, we need to pretty much recreate this state machine here. So we're going to add a state. Call this crouching weapon, as well as return. Right, now to go to it, we're going to need both has weapon and is crouching. So we're going to do an and, so I'm going to check the is crouching condition first. Well, actually, it would only go, this should be a little tiny bit faster to check the has weapon first. So, and. So if both of these conditions are true, meaning we are crouching and we have a weapon, then we can enter the transmission. What did I forget? Crouching idle / walk. Oh, actually, no, I'm an idiot. No, actually, no. I'm just going to keep it the same. Now, what's the issue here? No, well, duh, I haven't set it up, that's why. So, then we're going to check the opposite. Get is crouching, get has weapon. Can do an A. Or what's this? I can't remember what that is. Right, drag off from our and. We're going to do a not. And drag it to the can enter transmission. Compile and save. It's still going to look kind of wonky, but you should at least be entering it. Trying to think here. But I don't know if this is ever going to take its route. So we need to enter it. We need to be not crouching. And have a weapon. Alright, so pick up the weapon. Should have it. Crouch. No, it's still playing the animation. Not sure why. So we need to check crouching check. Actually, we can go directly from here to here based on a simple crouch, actually. So we're going to weapon idle to run. If we are crouching, might as well do it as weapon as well. And the return. If we are not crouching, and we have a weapon. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm not really thinking this through very much. Still walking like normal, or crouching. Alright, we go into a T-pose. I'm guessing none of them are correct. So let's look back at this. What is... Oh. Unless it's entering the crouching weapon, which we have no pose set up for. So just to see if it's working, we'll play the jumping loop when we crouch with a weapon. Alright, so yeah, we are entering it. That's good. So from there, we can simply do our BS crouch with our speed. Save it. So now we crouch, we walk just like normal. We have our weapon, we crouch, and we have everything just like that. And Control-Shift-S keeps bringing that crap up. Okay. But yeah, now we can alternate between our crouching, both with and without a weapon. God, that looks so stupid though. But yeah, that's how you crouch. Not bad for kind of winging this. Alright, so in our survival character, let's reiterate what we did real quick. What's this? I don't care. We have our inputs, so when we hold down left control or we press it, it calls our crouch function, our start crouch. When we release it, we call our end crouch. And on our start crouch, we simply check if we are crouching. If we are not crouching, then we toggle our, I believe this is replicated as to why it, well, works. And then we set it to true, because we do want to crouch. And then we call our crouch function. There might be a function called like can uncrouch or something, out of curiosity. Meh. So if we are in fact crouching, then we want to stand up. So we check if we want to crouch is false. Well, I mean we set it, sorry. Then we simply call our uncrouch function. Now because we have our isCrouching function, that allows us to go directly from our movement component to check if we are crouching. And if we are crouching or not, we set our isCrouching boolean accordingly. That's on our animation blueprint. Now we use this to go through and modify our state machine. So for example, if we do not have a weapon and we crouch, all we do is simply check if we're crouching, in which case we call our crouch idle/walk state machine. Or I guess it's just called a state, I don't know. And from here, we pretty much are modifying, well, our upper half of our body is separate from our lower half of our body for which animations we play. So our idle run, which is our standing, just normal walk, run, etc., that is going to be in our, pretty much our upper half of our body. So it's normal, you know, not holding our rifle pose, essentially. And our crouching is going to modify the lower half of our body, which is our legs. As you saw, they were bent, crouched, etc. Now to go directly, so there's one condition I didn't check first. Going straight from crouching to picking up a weapon, which works just fine. Okay. So we can go straight from crouching to crouching with a weapon when we pick one up by simply checking the condition. I don't know why I didn't show it. So we simply check if we have a weapon and if we are in fact crouching, and we can return. I derped a little bit. So has weapon, we're going to do a not and plug that into our and. So if we do not have a weapon and we are crouching, then we can enter the transmission back to just normal crouching. Then we pick up our weapon just like before. We check if we have a weapon, and if we are not crouching, same thing here. Well, we simply check if we don't have a weapon, which will kind of go and blend between everything else. So we have our weapon, our state, which plays our normal walking, running with our rifle. We can check if we have a weapon and if we are crouching. And if that is true, we go back to our just strictly our crouching blend space, which is the crouching pose for holding a rifle. This one. Otherwise, if this is the case and let's say we drop the weapon, oh, I mean, if we're no longer crouching, sorry, I got them mixed up. We simply check if we are not crouching, but we still have a weapon, in which case we run back to here. And that's pretty much it. We're probably going to expand on this a little bit farther later on as we implement a couple more features and see if we run into any issues, but for now this is fine. So that's how we set up a very simple crouching with and without a weapon, I guess. Not much else to say there. Hopefully that was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.